Hello, welcome to the HealthInn Show, an affiliate program of Homeopathy World Community. You've come to the right place to tune in and participate with your comments and questions. Love is the greatest healer of all, but sometimes, in order to change our emotions, we must take action in other spheres of our lives. We speak with experts in alternative and complementary health fields and hope you will benefit in some small or great way. Remember, you are wherever your thoughts are. Make sure your thoughts are where you want to be.
Good day, everyone, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. We're going to be talking today about the epidemic of diabetes. We're just going to be giving lots and lots of facts and information so that you can become educated and aware, become empowered with your life and your health, understand what is happening all around you in the marketplace, in the environment, what you put on your table, what you purchase in the store, the power that you have with your pocketbook, and your choices. I did put up on Homeopathy World Community on the Facebook a little fact. We can prevent diabetes with our choices. And these are the kinds of bits of information that can motivate you to move forward and not let the part of your brain that says it's okay this time, because it may not be just okay. Every little bit that you do in the positive direction helps. And there was some research. Researchers followed 91,249 women who did not have diabetes or any other chronic disease in 1991. In the following 8 years, 51,603 of those women gained significant weight. And remember, that weight part is going to be an important piece of this puzzle. 741 went on to develop type 2 diabetes. Those who drank at least one sugar-sweetened drink a day were nearly twice as likely to develop diabetes than someone who didn't consume any of those drinks. That's an important fact. That's something to keep in mind. That's something to refresh whenever you are in a position to make a choice. And so now I'm going to I have lots of slides today, and we're going to run through them. Knowledge is power, the diabetes epidemic. This is a presentation of Homeopathy World Community, and today is April 21, 2014. The year goes fast. Begin in the positive each day, because the world is in a precarious position, and we need to give it all the help we can through our intentions, our thoughts, our prayers, to move it into a better place. Always remember that the presentations given on Blog Talk Radio, on the HealthInn, on Homeopathy World Community are for educational purposes only, and if you have an issue, see your healthcare provider. Slide 2, forgive yourself and others. And I want you to remember this. Even if you do every single thing right, things may appear to come out wrong. And I say this because we will touch upon facts and news items that may be very difficult to hear and accept. This is a natural response. Our minds, our brains are constantly giving us messages to rationalize, to keep us stuck in a place, and to say this, you're not ready to make that change. And this is something that we have to understand and have some compassion for ourselves and for others. Also, at the beginning of each show, it is like a small meditation. The meditation of forgiveness, especially at night when you're getting ready to go to sleep, is a good thing to do. This world needs our prayers for change and repair. Absolutely anyone of any age can meditate, and it's not difficult to do. Basically, even in the moment, wherever you are, sit in a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Give a message to your body to relax. Feel the stillness within. And then take some breaths, some deep breaths, because shallow breathing is showing us that we have a bit of anxiety, tension, or stress within our body. So take those deep breaths in and breathe out. And even in the moment that we're here, you can do that. And then proceed with your personal thought of gratitude. It's easy to think at least of 10 or 20 things to be grateful for every single day, but just begin with 3 to 5 small things that you in your life are grateful for, whether it is your loved ones or your ability to be able to see, hear, touch, to swallow, to chew food, just every single function that your body has. If you count that up, that's a lot. And so being thankful for that, being thankful that you have enough power within you to make those positive choices. Other meditative ideas are when you ask for guidance by thinking about your day early in the morning. Ask the universe, that sunshine that's coming in to your eyes, the light that lights up your day so that you can see, for guidance, protection, and strength. Send love to people that have upset you, and forgive 2 people that you feel have wronged you recently. And ask them to forgive you too. You can do it in your personal way, in your quiet space, or actually going to the people and resolving the conflicts. The start to your day determines the rest of it. So make a conscious decision to start off the day in a positive way. And that's how I wanted to start today's program, because this issue of diabetes type 2, and we're specifically talking about type 2, not type 1, which would be juvenile diabetes. Type 2, typically known as adult onset type diabetes, is something that could actually bring fear into your heart. And it probably should. There should be an element of fear that moves you to make change, as well as the element of compassion and love, which we begin with. So type 2 diabetes, once known as adult onset or non-insulin dependent diabetes, is a chronic condition that affects the way your body metabolizes sugar or glucose, your body's main source of fuel. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, from 1980 to 2010, states that the number of American adults aged 18 and older with diagnosed diabetes more than tripled, soaring from 5.5 million to 20.7 million. And I know that in many other countries around the world, there are similar statistics. The diabetes epidemic continues at a rapid pace, affecting 25.8 million people, and that's in the United States, I assume, in 2011. Another 79 million adults have pre-diabetes, putting them at greater risk of developing type 2 diabetes down the road. And also, many, many people do not even have the inkling of an idea that they have pre-diabetes because the symptoms are so subtle. There's a report in April 19th, which is just 2 days ago, 2014. The New England Journal of Medicine by the CDC's Division of Diabetes reports drops in all 5 diabetes-related complications between 1990 and 2010, which are including acute myocardial infarction, death from hyperglycemic crisis, stroke, amputation, and end-stage renal disease, with higher chances of developing kidney disease, which puts you on dialysis, amputations, and heart attacks. It seems like there is some kind of a conflict in that statement, because at one point it says there's a drop, but then you might have higher chances. And so go into that article. I have a link at the bottom of all the slides, which are also available. They're also available on Homeopathy World Community. If you click the banner and go to the website, you will be able to download the slides and see all of the references. So we have issues that are pretty stark and staggering. They are great health concerns for everyone. And if I'm going to also check on the chat that we have here, if there are folks there who want to call in today. If you're in the United States, you can call 919-518-9773, or if you are from outside the U.S., you can call Skype at Computers 2K Voice. It looks as if we have a guest. Dr. Sharma of the Orbits Clinic in New Delhi is with us today. What a surprise.
Hello, Debbie.
Hi, I hope you're doing well. And I know
Yes.
this is one of your areas of expertise where you have written and published about diabetes.
Yes. I love this topic.
Okay, so we're going to be now moving forward. We are slide 8, processing sugar for energy. With type 2 diabetes, your body either resists the effects of insulin, a hormone, and I have highlighted this word because I feel that this is really key and important. It is the hormones, it is the endocrine system that gets things going up and functioning in a balanced way in our body, and any kind of disruption is going to make it difficult for us, for all of our organs, to do what they need to do, all of our cells to do what they need to do. So a hormone that regulates the movement of sugar into your cells, that's the energy that we need, or your pancreas does not produce enough insulin to maintain a normal glucose level. Untreated, this condition leads to type 2 diabetes and can be life-threatening. Slide number 9. This is the issue that's critical. Type 2 diabetes increasingly affects children as childhood obesity increases. We see this all around us. All the kids in school, all the kids on the street, their weight has just climbed. We're told that there is no cure for type 2 diabetes, but you can manage the condition by eating well, exercising, and maintaining a healthy weight. Those are 3 key components. If diet and exercise don't control your blood sugar, then you may need diabetes medications or insulin therapy. There has been a rapid onset in children on slide 10. The need for insulin in type 2 comes 3 times faster in children than in adults. It appears that the deterioration in the beta cell function in teenagers occurs sooner than in adults. This suggests that type 2 in children progresses rapidly. In children, the only approved diabetes medications are metformin and insulin. So you see, in the medical world, they have limited choices for maintaining and controlling the condition in children. And I have a little factoid at the bottom of that. 3,700 new cases of type 2 diabetes a year in the youth in the United States. And remember, that's just the United States. That's not the rest of the world. And I want to welcome Giza, or Gabrielle Seelman, out there. She comes in from Facebook onto the show, and Yvonne from Lebanon. Thanks so much, Dr. Bob, Suziani, all those folks who are out there. We've got somebody coming in from the UK. I want to thank you so much for tuning in and telling your friends about this important information. Slide 11. The risk factors for other illnesses. Children with type 2 diabetes often have risk factors for heart disease, such as high blood pressure and high LDL, which is considered the bad cholesterol. Kids with these conditions are at an increased risk for heart attack and strokes, just the same as adults have those risks. The American Diabetes Association also recommends that children with type 2 get annual screenings for diabetic eye and kidney disease. You see how it affects all the cells, tissues, and organs of the body. And I have a little photograph here on slide 12, showing how it affects the different parts of the body, the brain function, your vision, your ability to think, your ability to see, your ability to feel and pump that blood, the circulation through the heart, your ability to take a step forward, to get on your feet and walk, to be ambulatory, to be able to move. It affects it affects your extremities, your hands, the ability to take action in the world. These are the parts of the body that keep you whole and enable you to interact, communicate, and do everything. So this is an important thing about diabetes. Signs of diabetes, we're going to go through. We're going to go through the main signs. So kind of put these in your mind. Thirst. If you notice a person has excessive thirst and increased urination, because when you have diabetes, excess sugar or glucose builds up in the blood. When your kidneys cannot filter and absorb the excess sugar, it is excreted into the urine along with fluids drawn from your tissues. This triggers more frequent urination, which may then leave you dehydrated. Of course, you're going to have a dry mouth and you're going to be thirsty again. As you drink more fluids to quench your thirst, you're going to urinate more. And it's like a little vicious cycle, isn't it? Diabetes is the leading cause of kidney failure, accounting for 44% of new cases way back in 2008. The second sign of diabetes is fatigue, weakness, people who have trouble walking up and down stairs. Many factors can contribute. They include, number one, the dehydration from increased urination and your body's inability to function properly, since it is less able to use the sugar, which is your energy source. Next, sign number 3, weight loss. That sounds funny, doesn't it, considering we just coupled and linked together obesity with diabetes. But here, in this beginning stage, is weight loss or weight fluctuations. When you lose sugar through frequent urination, you also lose calories. At the same time, diabetes may keep the sugar from your food, from reaching your cells, leading to constant hunger. So that's another sign, is it not? You have weight loss, but you're very hungry. And if you were a homeopath, you might be thinking of a flashing light in your mind of iodatum, a remedy which is for people who have an inability to gain weight, but they're constantly hungry. The combined effect is potentially rapid weight loss, especially for that's in type 1 diabetes. And I know there's a lot of chat going on. I'm kind of concentrating on the slides because I've got like 60 of them and I want to get through them. If somebody wants to call in to me and speak and say what you have on your mind, I would love that. Or if somebody wants to call in and read some of the stuff that's going on in the chat. Dr. Sharma, you're with us. Is there something out there? Just beep in and let me know if you want to say something.
Yes, I will definitely speak in the last. You just continue with your slides.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we're up to the next sign of diabetes, and that is blurred vision. High levels of blood sugar pull fluid from your tissues, including the lenses of your eyes. This affects your ability to focus. Left untreated, diabetes can cause new blood vessels to form in your retina, the back part of your eye, and damage established vessels. For most people, these early changes do not cause vision problems. That's one of the things. You know, I feel that God gives us so much opportunity to make life choices. And every day I wake up, God, you gave me another day to do it right. And that's what I feel like. Sometimes, though, we need some signs. We need to be aware and recognize symptoms that say, today's the day that I have to make a change. So if any changes progress undetected, they can lead. Oh, these are the symptoms. Okay. So Dr. Sharma is telling me that I'm calling them signs of diabetes. They're signs and signals for the person who is experiencing these symptoms. So these are actual symptoms of diabetes, but they're also warning signs to us to take action. However, if these changes progress undetected, so our eyes, they can lead to vision loss or blindness. Okay, so this is why I go to the optometrist to have my eyes checked at least every other year, if not an annual checkup, because they can also see. They take a picture of your retina and they can see all the vessels in the back of your eye and know what's happening in your body. Okay, signs and symptoms of diabetes. The next thing is sores. Slow healing sores or frequent infections may be coincidental or part of the syndrome. That's because some people do have slow healing sores and they're not diabetic or pre-diabetic, but in some cases with this complex of symptoms, then you know that this is another symptom of diabetes. It may be that high levels of blood sugar impair your body's natural healing process and your ability to fight. And you see, I have highlighted the word infections because that is another big sign. That is another big symptom, constant infections. And for women, that can appear as a bladder or vaginal infections that are probably recurrent. Did you have something to add to that, Dr. Sharma? No.
I think, Debbie, you just continue with your slides.
Okay. Okay, the next thing is tingling, numbness, all of these things that when a homeopath takes your case and listens to the person, they're going to explain, they're going to say, I have burning, tingling, numbness, pins and needles, all of these kinds of sensations that the body is telling you, pay attention to me. And this is occurring on your hands and feet, probably because the circulation is poor and you're not able to get the blood flow all the way to the extremities. Excess sugar in your blood can lead to nerve damage. You may notice tingling and loss of sensation in your hands and feet and burning in your arm, pain in your arms, hands, legs, and feet. 2 little points in red. Carpal tunnel syndrome is 15 times more common in people with diabetes than in the general population. And I know lots of people over the past decade who have gone to the doctor and had actually surgery to remove nerves in their hands because of, they say, using the computer keyboard too much and getting carpal tunnel syndrome. And now, after learning this, I wonder, is there something going on here? About 60 to 70% of people with diabetes have mild to severe forms of nervous symptom damage. That's a lot. That's a high percentage. Now, on slide number 19, this gum and bone issue in your teeth, it's really key because care of your teeth and gums is so important to heart health. And now we find that when you have red, swollen, and tender gums, that it's also a symptom of diabetes, which may weaken your ability to fight germs. And how many people who have pyorrhea, who have this infection of the gums, go to their dentist on an annual basis, and every single time they do, they're given antibiotics because of potential damage to their heart. So you see the connection between infection, the ability to fight germs, swelling and inflammation, soreness and tenderness, tingling, the ability to circulate the blood, and the ability to utilize the energy source of glucose in the body. It's all key, and it's all a complex of symptoms, a complex of the body working in harmony that we need to get together. And we're going to learn a little bit of how to do that. Your gums may pull away from your teeth may become loose, you may develop sores or pockets of pus in your gums. So right away, maybe a homeopath is thinking about remedies like mercurius because of the amalgams in your teeth that the mercury in your teeth that is detrimental. It's a hormone disruptor. Remember how important the hormones are, and it's key. And so when we put things into our body that disrupt the hormones from functioning properly, then we're leading the body toward an inability to deal with infection, bacteria, virus, and things that are in the mucous membranes and in the body. Okay, we're going to go to slide number 20. This is just a quick review of what we just went through. Excessive thirst and dry mouth, increased and frequent urination, fatigue and dehydration, weight loss, a fluctuation in weight, blurred vision, slow healing sores and cuts. And that's something that you want to notice in your children, because they may fall, they're active, they're in sports, and they may get cuts that don't heal. Now pay attention to it. Frequent infections, tingling of the hands and feet. How many people wake up and feel that sensation? Swollen and tender gums. Make sure that you're really flossing, brushing, caring for your teeth in the most positive way. A lot of people are now doing the coconut oil in their mouth. And this is something I didn't mention, heavy breathing in children, that they're having difficulty with their breathing, and itchy skin, because with diabetes comes dry skin, and in more chronic conditions, the skin is like parchment paper. The next slide is sending us a message in the mental emotional sphere. And let me just check here. How's the chat going? Anybody got something? Keep adding information. If you have diabetes, watch for signs and symptoms of depression, such as loss of interest in normal activities, feelings of sadness and hopelessness, unexplained physical problems like back pain or headaches. And I want you to make note, these are things that young children should not be experiencing, and yet are at increased rate. Children are experiencing depression. And you see, again, the link between obesity, diabetes, mental, the way people are thinking, ability to cope, and ability to function. Slide 22. These chronic symptoms may lead to, in more serious events, heart and kidney disease or kidney failure, heart attacks, poor blood flow in the legs and feet that can lead to infections, ulcers, possible amputation, retinopathy, an eye disease that can cause blindness, peripheral neuropathy. I've been reading that this is not talked about enough in medical circles, but peripheral neuropathy is very debilitating to people. I see that Gabby is saying heart, center of joy, kidney partnership. Thank you for putting that up in the meridians in Chinese medicine and whatever it is. Our different chakras maintain and are connected to different emotional centers. Peripheral neuropathy, and you can see that it can lead to difficulty to getting around. Slide 23. Conventional treatment. For some people, lifestyle changes aren't enough and medications are necessary to maintain healthy blood sugar levels. Find comprehensive coverage on insulin therapy and other insulin options, oral medications, new drug approaches, and some experimental procedures. And this is for people who have tried everything and nothing is working. Also, if you're a healthcare provider, keep your clients and patients on their medications. They may need them. And there is a journal article that is on Homeopathy World Community. I'm trying to remember who it was that put it up there. Someone, I will remember it later. And he had a report about a homeopath that it's probably back in the early 1900s that gave the client their constitutional remedy, which was great. But because they quickly withdrew them from their insulin, this person did not survive. So it's important to know proper practice when you're a physician and taking care of these patients. Yes, encourage exercise, eating properly, all the great things, but know that medication may be very necessary. I see that Gabrielle is telling us that the feet are related to going forth in the future. I'm full of fear, there is no joy to go. The nervous system are also the feeling of the feet. I will not feel this disaster. The bladder is related to shame. The blood is relating to the flow of joy. Okay, especially for women. Okay, so Dr. Bob says for 80% of type 2 diabetes, losing 25% of your body weight will cure the disease. Unfortunately, easier said than done. And I want to say that word cure is very controversial. You may go into a permanent remission, but if the weight is fluctuating, you can always fall back into the state of the diabetic symptoms. So you need to look at that. Slide number 24. A search, and that is initials for an organization, for diabetes in youth study started. Type 2 diabetes between 10 and 19-year-olds had increased 21% between 2001 and 2009. Just think about that. 21, that's almost a fifth of the population of youth aged 10 to 19 went into a state of diabetes. The increase was driven, and you have to look at the figures carefully because ethnicity plays an important part in this, that certain populations are at higher risk than other populations. So it was driven by the Hispanic and non-Hispanic white youth. Type 2 diagnosis rates didn't increase in the Native Americans, the Asian Pacific Islanders, or the African Americans during those years. However, note that if you have immigrated to the United States and you were perfectly fine in your own country and you come to America and change to the American eating habits, your potential risk is skyrockets because we are not doing it right. Slide number 25. Many obese youth and adults do not become diabetic. So this is a conundrum. The researchers are wondering, something leads to the beta cells of the pancreas to stop producing enough insulin to control blood glucose in children who develop type 2 diabetes. Next slide. But they really don't know. They don't understand the link between obesity and diabetes because so many people who are obese do not get diabetes. The number of cases of type 2 diabetes rose faster in girls than in boys. Okay, so we really don't understand this, do we? Except, I think I have an inkling, I have an idea. Remember those hormones? Remember those changing hormones? What's happening in our environment? I'm going to get to that in a minute. So the researchers say that this is a mystery. Well, I want the researchers to open their eyes and look around them. Okay, slide number 27. Changes in blood sugar level. The hormones highlighted, estrogen and progesterone, affect how your cells respond to insulin. After menopause, changes in hormone levels can trigger fluctuations in blood sugar levels. Blood sugar levels may be more variable or less predictable than before. If blood sugar gets out of control, you will have a higher risk of diabetes complications. So we're talking about the relationship between these blood sugar levels and our hormones. So Dr. Bob says that yo-yo dieting is now proven to cause insulin resistance. And type 2, the docs do not tell you. Okay, so you know
One more
how...
thing,
Yes.
one more thing I want to add in this topic, the life cycle changes and diabetes and menopause. So this is all because of the estrogen and progesterone level, but the main factor is the obesity of the abdominal fat and the thighs fat. These two fat are the maximum have a tendency to resist the insulin. That's why many of the obese person do not have diabetes, but those have the more fat on abdomen and on the anterior wall of abdomen and on the thighs. These two fats are more prone to the diabetes. This is the main factor.
Excellent information. So, where the adipose tissue, where a person deposits their fat, is going to give you a clue about diabetes, about how the body is able to assimilate, absorb, and move all of the nutrients, the sugars, the glucose in the body in through the blood. And so that's really important to be aware of. So that belly fat. We are now at slide number 28.
28. Yes.
Okay, weight gain. Some women, and I want to make another point. You know, we're talking about fluctuations in the estrogen and progesterone. These are life cycle events that occur at many points in a person's life. And when that happens, and women accumulate the fat in the breasts and different parts of the body, we're holding on to environmental toxins, and they're in the body. Okay, weight gain. Some women gain weight during the menopausal transition and after menopause. Traditionally, this can increase the need for insulin or oral diabetes medication. We have a great need for more guidance with nutrition, exercise, sleep habits, getting sunlight, getting in touch with the earth, walking on the earth, and all the good things that we need to do. I'm going to give, Gabrielle has also put that the gallstones, which are prominent for women, is all about anger and about law and order. The uterus is about creation of life, as well as the male organs, the penis and testes. And she has a fantastic website with tons of information, which will be uploaded to Homeopathy World Community. Okay, slide number 29. Even before menopause, high blood sugar levels can contribute to urinary and vaginal infections. Again, infections where we're not able to heal sores. The immune system is obviously not able to kick into gear and function. After menopause, a drop in the estrogen hormone level makes it easier for bacteria and yeast to thrive in the urinary tract and vagina. I think you're getting the picture. Sleep problems. After menopause, hot flashes and night sweats may keep you up at night due to changing hormone levels. In turn, the sleep deprivation can make it tougher to manage your blood sugar level. Sexual problems. Diabetes can damage the nerves of the cells that line the vagina. This can interfere with arousal and orgasm. Vaginal dryness, just as the epidermis, the skin is dry, even inside the body, a common symptom of menopause, may compound the issue by causing pain during sex. And for males, the inability to get or maintain an erection firm enough for sex is common in men who have diabetes. It can stem from problems caused by poor long-term blood sugar control, which damages nerves and blood vessels. Erectile dysfunction can also be linked to other conditions such as high blood pressure and coronary artery disease. Can you get the picture? Circulation of the blood is key. And if we're not circulating the blood, we're not able to have that smooth blood flow. We're going to have blockages, we're going to have problems, we're going to have nerve damage, we're going to have more infection. All of these things are related to the heart and to the blood. I'm throwing in a little environmental bit of information. I love glass. I don't like Rubbermaid. I don't like plastic containers. I don't like to use them. I save my glass jars. And I don't buy aluminum canned, aluminum tin, packaged foods. Some aluminum water bottles can actually leach more of the chemical bisphenol A or bisphosphenol A, BPA, than plastic containers, which is the type of bottle people usually associate with hormone-disrupting substances. I want to tell you that even though the government here in the United States has banned the bisphenol A in baby bottles, they've replaced it with another kind of plastic that is even worse. But nobody knows about that. So get your little babies, nurse them primarily, and get them glass bottles if you can find them, and do the best you can. Do what you can. Okay, I have a graphic here. Hormone disruptors from plastic in the environment. Americans have twice as much BPA levels in their bodies as Canadians. And I don't have the measurements against all the other countries in the world. Scientists suspect that chemicals which disrupt the hormone system are linked to early breast development, poor semen quality, and we know we have a problem with sterility in the world, low birth weight in babies, increasing cancer rates, and other problems. And you're going to be thinking about plastics, fracking, and all the petroleum products that we use today. Close to 800 chemicals are known or suspected to be capable of interfering with hormone receptors, hormone synthesis, and hormone conversion. And this comes from a very, very big article that I've put on hub pages over the years. I've compiled lots of information. The pipes in your home leach chemicals, metals, and that's why you need to have a water filter. I have a caller. Please chime in.
Hey, Debbie, this is Kavita. How are you?
Hi. Thank you so much.
I'm enjoying the show, Debbie. Wonderful.
Are you contributing some information today?
Okay, let me tell you a real quick one. So when my mother-in-law came here 2 years from India, so her sugar levels, they raised like around 400. And what she did was like diet, and she used to do yoga, and also her apart from allopathic medicines, her constitutional remedy, homeopathic medicines, and physicism, the homeopathic remedy helped her to control her sugar levels from 400 to 200, and also it also helped to lower her fasting levels. So that is just, I wanted to tell you that diet, lifestyle, and exercise really helps. And also, a person has to feel that they can do all this and they can bring a change.
Wonderful. And what important thing is that your mom had your support, your complete support. And it's important that people in the family feel that they're not being sabotaged, people are not giving them foods that they should not be having, that people are really loving, compassionate, and encouraging people. This is the best, and I'm going to feed you the best.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for calling in. Dr. Sharma, did you have something right there?
Yes, definitely, Kavita. You are just saying true that the exercise and the maintaining the diet panel is the main issue to control the diabetes. So we have two issues. The number one, the input of the diet and the output of the energy. So that's why the diabetes is nowadays called as a metabolic syndrome. So
Yes.
this is just combination of input and output.
Yes, and last night I listened to an old Blog Talk radio show that I had done with Dr. Adil Chimthalawala Kasim, all about diabetes, and that was the first thing he said, that it is a metabolic syndrome. Okay.
Yeah.
Slide number 35, and I think I've got 60 and we don't have that much time left. In a study over 2,000 people, more than 90% had BPA, bisphosphonates A, in their urine. Traces have also been found in breast milk, the blood of pregnant women, and the umbilical cord blood. Even before the latest research showing multi-generational effects, studies had linked BPA to breast cancer and diabetes, as well as hyperactivity, aggression, and depression in children. Exposure to bisphosphonates A early in life results in high levels of anxiety. And I know I'm getting calls from local school psychologists who tell me these children are in panic mode all the time. Studies show that soy mitigates the effects. I do have a little thing. I'm not for soy, only fermented soy, because they are estrogenic. So be careful about that soy. BPA interferes with the way study animals process feel-good hormones the trust hormones of oxytocin and vasopressin. Okay. Finding associations between urinary bisphosphonates A concentration levels and body mass outcomes in children in the study analysis of 2,838 participants ages 6 through 19 showed that there is a link between the bisphosphonates A, the hormone disruptors that we are spread throughout our environment, in our water supply, in our foods, that leach through the plastics that we're feeding our foods, and the manufacturers process and package in these foods. The can linings have got bisphosphonates A. These are hormone disruptors, and we're feeding the children these processed foods. And that's why we have one of the reasons why we have obesity levels as they are. Get rid of your plastics. In adults, higher urinary BPA concentrations were cross-sectionally associated with heart disease in National Health and Nutritional Examination Survey, also in adults with increased obesity. The Good Housekeeping, and I went to their website, they find, because they were doing an examination of different water filtration systems, that drugs, hormones, pesticides, and a whole cocktail of chemicals may be flowing through your tap. Remember, a lot of people throw their old medications and stuff in the drain, in the commode, and it gets in the water supply, and it's not filtered out. So we're drinking all of these drugs that people have been taking. Most of these are not regulated by the government, and little is known about what health risks they may pose when they are mixed together or mixed with disinfectants like chlorine. And that's what the municipalities are using to clean and to disinfect your water. So we don't know what in our water we are drinking. Again, get a water filter system. Can't stress it enough. And you can get one, what is it called, Dr. Bob? Zero? Write it in the chat. That Zero one, we use it, and it's the least expensive, the best one you can get. Okay, the role of estrogen in diabetes. It's, quote, "It's long been assumed that circulating estrogens from the ovaries, which underlie normal female reproductive development, were crucial for the onset of breast growth and development. Our findings, however, suggest that diet and shifts in body metabolism that parallel changes seen during obesity and type 2 diabetes can also stimulate breast growth entirely independent of estrogen effects." Note, how many parents say, my child at the age of 7, 8, 9, 10, which is way too early, childhood puberty for girls shouldn't start until they're 12, 13. It's way too young. Can you see the connection here? And okay, so Dr. Bob says it's the Zero water that you can get in the stores for a tabletop water filtration. Dr. Robert Ratner, Chief Scientific and Medical Officer for the American Diabetes Association, says, quote, "The obesity epidemic isn't due to sloth and gluttony. It's an interaction between biology and the environment. Therefore," that is how I started the show, forgiveness, compassion. There are things you are doing right, but things may not end up in the way that you hope they would, because we have to be politically active. We have to fight for our rights. We have to clean up the environment. Our tainted food. Most of the diseases of affluence, type 2 diabetes, coronary heart disease, and cancer can be linked to the consumption of grain-based diet, including secondary hidden sources of grain consumption in grain-fed fish, all those folks who are eating farm-raised fish, poultry that are fed tons of soy and other grains, GMO products, meat, milk products, and now factory-farmed fish. Smoking and diabetes. Diabetes patients who smoke have higher blood sugar levels, making their disease more difficult to control and putting them at greater risk of developing complications such as blindness, nerve damage, kidney failure, and heart problems. Smokers are 30 to 40% more likely to develop type 2 diabetes in non-smokers. Nicotine raises the level of hemoglobin, that's A1C, by as much as 34% when added to human blood samples. Hemoglobin A1C is a combination of hemoglobin, which carries the oxygen, and the glucose, the sugar, a standard indicator of blood sugar content in the body. So you see, the nicotine is not great for you. Vitamin C and vasodilation. Many randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled studies have shown that treatment with vitamin C consistently results in improved vasodilation. That means that we're going to be circulating the blood. The blood vessels are going to open up and expand and let the blood flow in individuals with coronary heart disease, as well as those with angina pectoris, congestive heart failure, diabetes, high cholesterol, and high blood pressure. Improved vasodilation has been demonstrated in an oral dose of 500 milligrams of vitamin C daily. And a lot of people, as well as myself, are taking upwards of 1,000, 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C. Anybody have something good in the chat there? Gabrielle says that she likes the Brita kind of water filter. Okay. A strong inversion association between plasma vitamin C and risk of diabetes mellitus has been reported in a cohort of 21,831 men and women from the EPIC study. Two large population-based cross-sectional studies reported an inversion association between serum or blood vitamin C concentration and hemoglobin A1C level, an index of glucose tolerance. You have any comments, Amnon?
I've got a bunch of comments.
Oh, okay. I have a plug on slide number 47. Just about 1 or 2 weeks ago, I got in touch with Carolyn Vessel. She's an incredible entrepreneur living in Pennsylvania who has developed a completely organic, non-GMO vitamin C green tea drink. It's delicious. It's a fine powder. Easily put them in water and up your level of vitamin C. If you go to that web link, you can check it out, read all about it, and if you want to make a purchase, that will also help Homeopathy World Community. Slide number 48, control blood sugar levels. Gabrielle is telling you, you can get your water filters, but you need to change them. And that's something that people forget to do, just like people annually have a thing where they change their smoke alarm. You want to change your filters in the filter part of the water filter. And also, I have read that the refrigeration filters are quite excellent. They do a lot of removal of certain particles and substances, but some of them they do leave behind. Controlling your blood sugar level is the best way to prevent diabetes complications. In fact, when it comes to pregnancy and diabetes, blood sugar control is more important than ever. So we've been talking about different lifestyle points in a person's life, both male and female, changes in life, changes in hormones. We're going to look now at pregnancy and diabetes. There's a lot to say here. During pregnancy, you might need to consult other kinds of specialists to keep a good eye on what's happening. You need to go to your obstetrician who handles high-risk pregnancies and has cared for other pregnant women with diabetes. They will monitor your health and the health of your baby. You might need to see your ophthalmologist, an eye specialist, who can monitor the damage in your retina. You can see that they can see the blood vessels in your eyes and help you understand the progress during your pregnancy. Slide number 51. You might also want to establish a relationship with a pediatrician who will care for your baby in case something needs special treatment for your yet unborn child. Dr. Bob says that the refrigerator filters take out the chlorine but leave the other chemicals. Check them out. I think that you can do some more research. Some of the filters do even more than that. Good blood sugar controls and helps. 1, reduce the risk of miscarriage and stillbirth. 2, reduce the risk of premature birth. And 3, reduce the risk of birth defects to the brain, spine, and heart. So if you have a care and are aware and educated and knowledgeable about your situation when you go for prenatal care, these are things that should not cause you to go crazy, but take the positive steps. Slide 53, reduce the risk of excess growth when you maintain your correct blood sugar level. Extra glucose can cross the placenta, triggering your baby's pancreas to make extra insulin, which can cause your baby to grow too large for a natural delivery. Poor blood sugar control may lead to preeclampsia, when high blood pressure and excess protein in the urine after 20 weeks of pregnancy lead to other serious complications. And I'm taking a break here because I feel like I've been breathing really rapidly. I'm pushing out all these bits of information that are hard to assimilate, that are really dramatic, and to me, in my mind, pretty staggering what's happening in the world to individuals, to the population, to young teenagers, to older people. So live in the moment of each day and do the best you can. Focus on all that is around you. Be thankful. Use your senses. Listen to nature. Enjoy the weather changes. Listen to the birds singing and feel your skin against your clothing. Pay attention to the immediate task in front of you and breathe. Breathing is really, really important. Get the oxygenation into the cells. In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The worst thing you can do is nothing. And this is a problem. Apathy is a problem. Remember, our hands, our fingers, these are action in the world. So I'm just saying, you're getting the information now. It's going to take you time to process it. If this is new information to you, it's going to take you longer. If you are a healthcare provider, it's just reaffirming to you what you need to help your clients and patients with. Moving forward, diabetes and Alzheimer's. Blood circulation connection. We repeat. Circulation of the blood is important. Diabetics are at higher risk of developing Alzheimer's disease and other dementias, vascular dementia. This type of dementia occurs due to brain damage, often caused by reduced or blocked blood flow to the brain. Diabetes complications include nerve damage and poor blood circulation. These problems may make the feet vulnerable to skin, sores, and ulcers, and can worsen quickly and are difficult to treat. Proper diabetes management and careful foot care can help prevent this problem. And I could have done a whole nother set of slides all about how to care for your feet. And there are ways, and I tell you what, go to the American Diabetes Association website. They have all of these key facts about the cost of diabetes, the numbers, the statistics, and they have some pretty cool graphics for you about how it affects the different parts of your body. That is up there for you on the internet. Diabetes and cancer. In addition to vascular disease, diabetes is associated with a substantial premature death from several cancers. Remember, infectious diseases, external causes, intentional self-harm, I guess because you're depressed and not doing the right thing, and degenerative disorders, independent of several major risk factors. Good news. With awareness, education, conscious and mindful lifestyle changes, diabetes can be reversed. There is a huge banner at the top of Homeopathy World Community. During the 12 days, not to tell 12 days of Christmas, May 5th through 16th, 2014, coming up next month, is the Reverse Diabetes World Summit online, the first time ever. There's a quick link, or go to Homeopathy World Community where there's a huge banner. Register. When you register, you will immediately download the Core Nutrition, slide 59, the Core Nutrition to Prevent and Reverse Type 2 Diabetes ebook. It's chock full of great hints and tips. It's a good step up. It's a good start to the program. There's going to be 40 experts speaking on 12 days, 50 hours of live video and audio. You will be able to get that for free. What you are what you eat. Nutrition is the cornerstone of diabetes management. Everybody's telling you that. So we can make choices. Wheat and glycemic index. Susan Delaney, who is a naturopath right here, I think she's in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, she encourages her patients to avoid all wheat products due to the increased glycemic response. These wheat products contain irritating phytochemicals such as lectins and glutens. And realize the increase today in popularity in gluten-free diets, people who have celiac disease, are there correlations between all of this and diabetes? Gut balance. Kathy Madonna Swift, owner of Swift Nutrition, author of the book, The Inside Track, Your Good Gut Guide to Great Digestive Health, describes reversal of diabetes as restoring function and bringing the body back into glycemic balance. And, you know, food is thy medicine, Kavitha, that's what she's saying. Fermented foods have been the way that the ancients have always preserved their foods. Fermented foods are fabulous for gut health. We are in a symbiotic relationship. We're mostly composed of bacteria, and they need the correct balance and pH and gut health. People with diabetes are encouraged to engage in at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity weekly and resistance training at least twice a week. Any kind of movement that you do is good. Start slow. Start with 10 minutes a day if that's all you can do. Build up. Dr. Susan Delaney says she works her patients up to about 10,000 steps a day. And I'll tell you, that is a lot if you put a monitor on yourself. Nutrition is the cornerstone of diabetes management. I can't believe we're going through all of the slides. Clinical trial. And this is a treat for you guys. I know I'm a chocoholic junkie. I really do crave it. I do have a friend who is totally nonchalant about it. She doesn't care a whit about having chocolate or sweets, but a lot of people really love chocolate today, just like people love coffee and tea and other addictive substances. Now, here's good news. Clinical trial found eating an entire 100-gram bar of dark chocolate, not white chocolate, dark chocolate every day dramatically reduced blood pressure. Systolic blood pressure plummeted by an average of 11.9, and that's mercury points, and diastolic blood pressure by 8.5 millimeters of mercury, making chocolate as effective as many of the high blood pressure drugs currently on the market. Can you imagine if you went to your doctor and they gave you a prescription for high quality, really, really good organic chocolate? Not the sugary stuff that you get from Hershey's or another manufacturer, not the stuff that's got hydrogenated vegetable hydrogenated vegetable shortening, not the stuff that's got soy lecithin, but really good quality. It's bitter, folks, but it's delicious. Good quality chocolate that is very satisfying to your taste buds. Okay, we did it. I cannot believe it. We went through all of it, and there's going to be a part 2 coming up on Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Here is our calendar coming forward, and then we're going to let Dr. Sharma say a couple of words. April 28th, we're going to have the famous Dr. Kubashan Bharadwaj, and somebody help me pronounce his name, talking about fears and phobias. This is going to be really great because right now I might have put some fear into your heart, and and Amnon says good. May 5th, yay, Dr. Sharma, you're going to be back talking about back pain. May 12th, we're going to have the famous Dr. Judith Reichenberg-Allman talking about A Traveler's Guide to Homeopathy and Natural Medicine. On June 2, marvelous Jenny French, homeopath in New York, is going to talk about summer remedies. June 23rd, a homeopath and yoga teacher, Neera Anand. I'm not sure I've got her full name correct. Anandira, I think it might be. I might have misspelled it. In Pennsylvania, is going to be teaching us about how yoga complements your homeopathic practice for you and for your clients. If you want to connect with us, Homeopathy World Community, all of these, and I know I've gotten questions on Facebook today, all of these are archived and recorded. Go to Homeopathy World Community for thousands of fantastic articles and many, many good articles on diabetes. Join us on Facebook.com. Alan Phillips records and broadcasts on Blog Talk Radio Wednesday evening at 6 p.m., except I do the last Wednesday of the month, which is coming up. I want to give a plug for Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. He is our guide, our leader, our inspiration. The first aphorism, number 1, the physician's high and only mission is to restore the sick to health, to cure as it is termed, meaning that we really, really need to look at restoring health. And that is, you want to find a physician who's going to help you through that. Show archives are found right here, nissancommunications.com, along with all the other shows that are going to be plugged at the end of this message today. Amnon Show and everything else. You're going to hear it at the end. And also on Homeopathy World Community, go to the HealthInn group and you're going to see some background information about all the shows. That is the end of programming now. Dr. Sharma, please add your little bits of wisdom.
Thank you, Debbie. But it was really a wonderful show, and you cover everything. Except I learned the few things. Regarding the new thing is about the gluten diet. This was a really excellent information in the topic of diabetes mellitus. And I always say, if you're doing the 20 minutes of walk, if a fast walk, 5 days a week, you cannot get a diabetes.
If you do what? If you do walking?
Yes, if you do a brisk walking for 20 minutes, only 5 days a week, you will not get a diabetes. Definitely. And one more information that if a patient is coming to the homeopathy very early in the stage and not using any conventional medicine, it is a curable disease. I have 2 or 3 cases. Those have totally cured with the diabetes mellitus, but they are not using conventional medicine in the early stage.
Yes. So I am sure I'm going to be doing another program Wednesday at 6 o'clock. I'm going to be giving you some more little hints and tips, things like blueberry extract, high potency turmeric oil, all of these different things to support your body and support the blood flow. These are really important. Changing your diet slowly but surely. You can't do it all at once. You might get a jump start, you might be inspired, you might have motivation, and you go gung-ho just like you make a New Year's resolution. How long do New Year's resolutions last? A week at the most. So we all need to come together, to give each other support, to, what's it called when you make accountability? Make yourself accountable, learn for you what is going to make you accountable for what you eat and for what you do. I want to thank Anna Collins, Kavitha, Vanny, Dr. Kubashan, you're here, Yvonne, Peter, of course you, Dr. Sharma, those folks who are out there in the UK, Amnon, Dr. Bob, Marianne, Gabrielle, Suzanne, and Vera, all the folks who are out there who tuned in, wrote down all of your comments, your wisdom, and shared with all of your friends. Please get registered to that Reverse Diabetes Summit. It's going to be phenomenal. Basically, let me give you a hint about that. Every day, they're going to have maybe between 3 to 5 expert health speakers who work with people with diabetes. and you're going to have 24 hours to tune into that programming for that day. After that 24 hours, that set of live programming is no longer available. The next day's set of programming will be available. So you might get to see some of it, because who's going to take off from work in order to listen to everything 12 straight days? There will be an opportunity for you to make a purchase of the entire set of 50 hours of programming. I think it's $97. Well worth it. And the amount of information that you're going to get from them is going to be probably much more than what I jam-packed into this 1 hour. So, and they're going to give you new information that maybe you didn't know, like this gluten. Did you have a question, Amnon?
No, I mean, I just had some comments about what you were saying, and
Okay.
I've been diagnosed with type 2 in '98.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything that I had. I didn't have any of these signs.
You didn't have any signs.
Any
so
of
it's,
the
it's that's why it's sometimes called silent killer, right?
That's exactly it.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how long I had it before, but probably not long.
Uh-huh.
And by controlling the sugar, I mean, I don't have any of the symptoms, knock on wood.
Right.
And I try to keep my sugar down. And that's the trick. So don't wait. I mean, it was a routine blood test that showed, hey, there's a problem here.
Right.
So you shouldn't wait until you have any of these symptoms that you were talking about today to determine whether you do or you don't. A simple blood test when you go to the doctor for a physical will show it.
Very good. And caring for your children. You know, you have to be aware of what you have a good connection with your children, because they're not going to. Maybe they won't show the signs and symptoms
Absolutely.
either.
I mean,
right?
well, my daughter is a type 1.
Right.
And when she was diagnosed, she had all the symptoms, urinating, very thirsty. We didn't know anything about it. When she went to the doctor, the doctor gave her a note to give the teacher that she can go to the bathroom anytime. That was it. There was no diagnosis of
Really?
nothing.
Amazing.
They said, well, there's something there, but just let her go to the bathroom. And then that one night when she almost was gone, we took her to the doctor and they say, whoa. Took her to the ER. And that's when they figure out that's what it was.
So you see.
So you
Yeah.
really need to, I mean, for type 1, for kids, it is definitely the urinating and thirst.
It's very different.
It is, I mean, it is now hindsight. I mean, how didn't we see that there was something really wrong? Oh, you know, a kid would be thirsty a day, afternoon, playing hard or something. But this was
Constant.
and you don't think about it because you're not educated to it. And you rely on the doctor, and there goes the doctor. Then
And
Nothing.
and now we know also men who have to get up in the middle of the night and urinate very frequently. It could be another sign.
right. And you
Or
see, in
as-
all these years, I never woke up in the middle of the night. Well, I can't say never. I can probably count it on one hand. It's just a matter how well you keep your blood sugar.
Right. And so the difference today is you and me and everybody else has an internet. We have what I call the World University. We, as public citizens, can be even more educated if we take the time and bring this information, our concerns, our thoughts, to our physician and say, look, I did some research. This is what I'm feeling, or maybe even heredity. Remember, heredity does play a part. This is my concern. So we can be our own, we can be a student forever. We can be a teacher,
Absolutely.
right? And you can also go out and tell your friends, I just learned this new information. And
And there's a lot better tools these days
yes.
for us to keep it down and to know about it. You don't have to wait until you go and pee on a strip like they did years and years ago, which shows its weight. I mean, today you check your blood right there and then. I mean, so
Right.
the tools to keep it under control are there.
Yes, so that is our Power Pack show. I want to thank Dr. Sharma for being with me today as co-host and contributing. That belly fat is also something that we take a look at. Gabrielle, what does she say? It is the only world we have, and we must make it better, if necessary, with quantum physics. Okay, with homeopathy. And Dr. Sharma, would you like to do another show on diabetes and homeopathic remedies in the future?
Yes, but I am working on the diabetes mellitus, and I have only 8 to 10 cases only, in which the 4 are cured. And I am collecting the data, and I need to wait more for to see the cure. So I will definitely do in the next year.
Okay, and then also anyone out there, if you're a homeopath, if you have information, please send it to us. We'll post it on Homeopathy World Community. And we have coming into the studio today is Marilyn Shannon. She's going to do the Breaking Free show in just a few minutes, about 45 minutes. What is your show about? An artist who does phenomenal artwork. And an author. Diving in with Marilyn Shannon and this incredible author and artist. So stay tuned. In 45 minutes, a new show will be up. Love you all. Waves of awareness. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, MS.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, HealthInn with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, The Tanya Love Show, Reawaken Your Brilliance with Julie Seibert, and if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by Atomus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals. ThatVidBlasterGuy.com, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.